Alarming testimony. First tonight on Our News, live at 7. A director and shareholder in a company paid by the state-run utility company denies signing a contract worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Plus, a suspected human smuggling attempt. A Haitian man now in custody after police apprehended 35 undocumented migrants near Arawak Key. Also, are you seeing troubling signs of aggression in your children? Experts urge early intervention following recent teen shootings. Then in Our News at 7:30, the chairperson of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities addresses recent funding reallocations. She says money spent on a late minister's memorial had no impact on the work. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. We begin with details of dramatic testimony today from the trial of former Water and Sewerage Chairman Adrian Gibson, a director and shareholder in a company paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by the Water and Sewerage Corporation, denying that a signature on a contract is hers. Tanya Demerit testifying it was Gibson's former fiancée, Alexandria Mackey, who asked her to become a director and shareholder of Elite Maintenance. However, she denied signing any contracts with the Water and Sewerage Corporation on behalf of Elite Maintenance. She further denied that a signature on a contract produced by the prosecutor was hers. Demerit was shown a payment schedule where Elite Maintenance received more than $700,000. She also denied receiving any of that money. Acting Director of Public Prosecutions Cordell Frazier asked the witness had she received anything from Gibson's fiancée, Mackey. She did admit that Mackey gave her $2,000. Long Island MP Adrian Gibson and 5 others are on trial for contracts awarded to various vendors while he served as chairman of the corporation. A Haitian man was taken into police custody early this morning after officers say they discovered 35 undocumented Haitians on a boat near Arawak Key. Police suspect it was a human smuggling attempt. It happened in an area where another failed attempt ended in tragedy just 2 years ago. Police say a tip led officers from the mobile division to the area where they conducted a routine stop and search of a dark-colored car with 3 people inside, a 43-year-old Haitian man who was driving and 2 Haitian women. Police say the driver provided proof of legal status in the country, but the women did not. Now, officers say they searched a nearby white 40-foot boat where they found 26 men and 9 women, all undocumented Haitian migrants. Now, the documented man, he was taken into custody by police. The 35 individuals, they have been handed over to the Department of Immigration. And now to Abaco, where residents in the Gaza shantytown now homeless after demolition began yesterday. But despite the 28-day notice, it apparently came as a shock as officials tell us residents didn't think that demolition day would ever come. Bethany McDermott is following this.
Demolition crews from the Ministry of Works set out to demolish over 100 structures in the Gaza shantytown in Abaco. Abaco shantytown residents were given 28 days to move out of the unregulated communities, but as Police Superintendent Stephen Carey tells us, many shantytown dwellers didn't leave before the eviction date.
A lot of them felt as if we were not going to come back to do anything, so they were waiting till the last minute in order for them to move. So we allowed them some time in order for them to move their items out.
It's just the beginning, as the issue has been a point of contention for Abaco residents for decades. Building Control Officer in the Ministry of Works, Craig Delancey, said the people found in the homes didn't have the necessary documents to keep their homes.
We don't have any building permits for any of them, and they don't have ownership to the land. And so at this point, we are in the process of now carrying out the demolition after the expiration of the 28 days.
Hurricane Dorian decimated the mud and pigeon pea shanty towns in Abaco, which housed hundreds of residents. During the rebuilding process, residents discovered new shanty towns being developed in other parts of the island. Last year, the Davis administration began demolition of shanty towns in New Providence and now have moved into Abaco. Delancey had this to say about unregulated areas in Abaco.
We just want to urge those other persons in the other unregulated areas in Abaco, in the gully and the farm, that they should make preparations to move as soon as possible because we're just carrying out the mandate under the Building Regulation Act.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. With growing concerns over children showing violent behavior, many parents may be wondering how they can spot the signs of their kids heading down the wrong path. Experts say parents play a pivotal role.
If you are a parent or guardian who may be experiencing some trouble with your child, who may be exhibiting violent or aggressive tendencies, there are signs you should look out for. Experts say addressing such behaviors early can mitigate potential harm and promote healthy development. Director of Bahamas Crisis Center Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson explains.
There are things that parents can do and parents should do. The most important thing is not to ignore it or put your head in the sand.
This comes on the heels of 2 teenagers being gunned down earlier this week. Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin says there must be a collective effort as the responsibility is not solely the government's.
When we see something like this thing with those 2 boys, and I know I'm not the only one who felt, I use the word disheartened, but disheartened doesn't describe it. Does not. I'm not the only one. I know all of us felt some kind of way about 2 children with, being blown away. So we have to then say, we can't say the government. We have to say, and you could say that, but you can't just say that. We have to accept that we all have a role to play in this thing.
Noelle Nichols is a volunteer at the Bahamas Crisis Center. She says it's important to have patience and empathy.
Because oftentimes when we see children demonstrating behavioral problems, we castigate the children and we call them bad children and all of them. And when you investigate a lot of what these children are dealing with and the trauma that they are trying to cope with, you will invariably find that there is some underlying causes of the behavior.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Josh. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. And Greg, I see we're at 75 degrees. Clearly, those temperatures are climbing up.
Warmer.
Yeah, they are certainly climbing up. I mean, it wasn't so bad, though. It didn't feel too sticky or hot at all.
But we have a dry air mass in place. That's the reason why it doesn't feel so uncomfortable. And then we had a slight breeze today. But the temperatures are going to climb once again tomorrow. And then into Saturday, we expect a front to just approach us. Maybe lend us a little bit of a shower activity, but mainly only across the extreme northern islands. But it's going to stay warm through the period. 75 degrees outside, passing clouds, east-southeast winds at 10 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature is at 74. Temperatures around the islands right now, warm across the entire chain, 74s in Freeport. And in Marsh Harbour, Abaco, 75. Allenstown, Bimini, Governors Harbour, we pick up 76 in Nicholstown, Andros, as well as in Great Harbour Key. Central Bahamas, 75. Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island, pair of 76s, Georgetown, Exuma, and Deadman's Key, Long Island. Copeland, Townsend, Salvador, 74. And into the southeast Bahamas, I think this temperature in Duncantown, we got to investigate that. It's been stuck at 73. 76 in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Abrams Bay, and Providenciales. Matthewtown, Inagua, deep south, you guys have the warm spot at 78. Satellite radar composite showing quiet conditions across us. Once again, we have high pressure in charge, dry air mass still in place. We do have some upper level moisture moving out of the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to be crossing us, but that's not going to produce any kind of precipitation. So high pressure will be the name of the game for the next several days. And we're looking at warmer temperatures still tomorrow and to Saturday. That's your first look at weather around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on Our News, the Royal Bahamas Police Force addresses domestic violence against men. We'll tell you more from the Men Speak series symposium this morning and the call for change. Plus, finalists from a Bahamian theater and film competition debut their television pilots to local and global audiences. We'll share insights from the president of the Star Film Institute when Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the family.
The Domestic Violence Unit of the Royal Bahamas Police Force hosting the third Men Speak Series Symposium this morning. It's under the theme A Call for Change, focusing on men opening up about domestic violence and its impact. Assistant Superintendent Kendra Wims is director of that unit. It was created back in July 2022. She says it's important to remember men can also be victims of domestic violence and for them to feel comfortable coming forward.
Men are very prideful, and then they look at being humiliated, and then pride and shame. So that is one of the main reasons why you find that a lot of men do not report matters of domestic violence. We have done a lot of sensitization training in the community as well as in the school system. So I'm finding that that is working, because now persons know that they have a safe space to report the matters of abuse, and they have options. So not only do they have the police stations, but they also have the Domestic Violence Task Force unit to report their matters.
Speakers covered mental health, the importance of opening up, and even said the rate of men being victims of domestic violence could be as high as 1 in 7. Superintendent Leonardo Burrows says he had 3 main points he wanted attendants to walk away with.
The first point is for us to prioritize standing up and speaking out, and standing up simply so that we can understand that we're not going to tolerate domestic violence, and then speaking out so that perpetrators will know that we're going to do something about it. And then my second point is for them to normalize self-care, because men are abused too, men are hurt too. And so often society makes us feel as if, oh, you're soft, or you man up and take it, but then internally we're dying. So when we prioritize self-care, we remember that we matter, because we can't be the fathers and the gatekeepers when we're wounded and weak and frail. And then the third point is that we must recognize that there is help. You're not alone. There are entities, there are agencies.
All right, Chairperson of the Commission on the Persons of National Commission on Persons with Disabilities, Nalini Bethel. She's weighing in on the decision of reallocating funds for a recent memorial for the late Minister of Social Services, Obi Wilshcombe. She says the move, just being criticized by the public and some opposition members, did not actually hamper their work.
It doesn't affect the Commission's work, okay? It is based on what we do and how we do it. You know, the thing is that we have an allocation of funding, but it's not given to us all in one go. It's given, that's why you have a mid-year report, okay? So it's given on a quarterly basis.
Now, Bethel also dismissing talk that the Commission does not have the resources it needs. She says even now, work is being done in the Family Islands.
We have adequate funds in order to carry out our work. We've found several that needed wheelchairs or walkers in Long Island, so we were able to actually say that we'll be able to send those devices to them.
All right, Bethel, she had much more to say on this. Joshua Williams, he's got a full story coming up in Our News at 7:30. We've been following the journey of several finalists in a Bahamian theater and film competition, and this weekend their television pilots will be showcased to not only Bahamian audiences, but to those abroad and international film professionals. Marlena Leonard has more from the president of the Star Film Institute.
This is history in the making, not only for just in Nassau, but history in the making for the entire Bahamas.
This weekend at the University of the Bahamas, Star Film Institute finalists hailing from Exuma, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, and New Providence will be screening their 6 new Bahamian television pilots in both comedy and drama categories.
We have brought down 4 industry professionals from Atlanta, Los Angeles, and New York to come and look at these TV shows, hopefully to get them on Netflix or Hulu or on one of those international streaming platforms.
The competition also teaching finalists marketing skills, including a people's choice aspect that centers on public opinion of the best trailer. Pinder tells us why that was so important.
One of the things that we wanted to do was to train these producers on what marketing looks like. And so any good TV show or play will have a poster and have a trailer. So on Star 242 on Instagram, there are persons that can go and vote for their People Choice trailer. So they definitely want to go on Star 242 on Instagram to vote for their People Choice trailer.
You can find more information on the Star Film page on Facebook or on Island Dreams Management's website. For now, Pinder says it's important to support Bahamian talent sooner rather than later.
This is definitely history in the making, and so therefore I think Bahamians should support, because we don't want to wait till we're on an international platform to realize that we had talent right here. And so now is the time for them to be able to come and see these stories played out and be able to support these producers.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the execution of Thomas Creech in Idaho is halted due to IV line difficulties. Plus, Volkswagen recalls 260,000 compact cars in the U.S. over potential fuel leak hazards. And the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda calls for Haiti's interim leader to resign. When our news returns. Immerse yourself in the enchanting allure of Acklands. Night after night, accompany us on a week-long expedition as we unveil the undiscovered treasures of this island paradise. See its pristine beaches, embrace the vibrant culture, and live the experience through the lens of our news. Tune in every night at 7 p.m. for a captivating blend of inspiration, adventure, and the irresistible charm of Acklands. Coming this March, only on Our News.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The execution of Thomas Creech in Idaho was halted today due to difficulties setting up the lethal injection IV line. That's according to the Department of Correction, which issued a statement that said the medical team attempted multiple times to establish IV access but faced challenges, leading to the decision to stop the execution. The 73-year-old was returned to his cell. Director Josh Tewalt said the department does not currently have a plan to proceed in the Creech case. Despite the setback, several more executions are planned this year across different states and the federal government. Creech, who is Idaho's longest-serving inmate on death row, was sentenced for a 1981 killing. Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving Republican leader in the United States Senate, has announced his resignation from his leadership position in November, citing it as time to move on. Known for his pivotal role in advancing conservative agendas and Republican electoral victories, McConnell's decision comes amid a shift in party dynamics, particularly with diverging paths of former Republican President Donald Trump's faction. Despite health concerns, McConnell emphasized his commitment to serve out his term until January 2027, albeit from a different seat in the chamber. Reflecting on his tenure, McConnell stressed the importance of U.S. global leadership. Volkswagen is issuing a recall for over 260,000 compact cars in the United States due to a potential fuel leak risk, which could result in a fire hazard. The affected models include various Volkswagen Golf, Golf GTI, Golf Sportswagen, Jetta, and Audi A3S from 2015 through 2020. The car maker says the issue stems from an improperly installed seal around a suction pump near the gas tank, allowing fuel accumulation and potential leak. Although no fires have been reported, VW says it will replace the pump at no cost for affected owners. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown has called for the resignation of Haiti's interim leader, Dr. Ariel Henry, during the 46th regular summit of regional leaders, CARICOM leaders in Guyana. Brown says his resignation may facilitate efforts aimed at resolving Haiti's socio-economic and political crises, suggesting Henry's involvement may be perceived as an attempt to maintain power, hindering efforts to address Haiti's challenges effectively. In a telephone interview with Caribbean Media Corporation CMC, Brown said he remained optimistic about the summit's outcomes, emphasizing the importance of a successful mission in restoring peace and prosperity to the Haitian people. And oil from a capsized barge off the southern coast of Tobago has made its way to the Dutch Caribbean territory of Bonaire. The island's government announced on Monday that oil had been detected in the waters of Sorbonne, Lac, and Lagoon on the eastern coast, prompting warnings for residents and visitors to steer clear of affected areas. Reports of oil-soaked birds and deceased marine creatures have heightened concerns for the island's biodiversity. The National Parks Foundation of Bonaire, alongside governmental and civil society organizations, have initiated cleanup efforts, including the deployment of floating barriers to contain the spill. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 28th. Then in our news at 7:30, we get a look inside the Bahamas Film Control Board after the recent Demon Slayer film was banned from local theaters. We'll tell you how movies are rated straight ahead. Plus, the Ministry of Works Demolition Team and Forestry Unit assess environmental impact in Abaco shantytowns. We'll tell you the potential health hazards recently uncovered when our news returns. Immerse yourself in the enchanting allure of Acklands. Night after night, accompany us on a week-long expedition as we unveil the undiscovered treasures of this island paradise. See its pristine beaches, embrace the vibrant culture, and live the experience through the lens of our news. Tune in every night at 7 p.m. for a captivating blend of inspiration, adventure, and the irresistible charm of Acklands. Coming this March, only on Our News.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Welcome back to Our News. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was February 28th. Take a look. On this day in Bahamian history, in 1920, noted Bahamian artist Amos Ferguson was born in the forest on Great Exuma. The Bahamas Historical Society notes that Ferguson was an artist, upholsterer, furniture finisher, and house painter who did not focus on his artistic works until his 40s. He claimed his calling to paint was divinely inspired, as is reflected in his numerous canvases or biblical stories. A number of his works also focused on Bahamian life and culture. Ferguson gained international exposure in the 1970s when American collector Suki Miller bought several of his paintings, which the Historical Society notes would eventually lead to a show in the United States featuring his work. In 2005, Exuma Street in the Grove, Nassau was renamed Amos Ferguson Street. His home, which sits on that street, was converted into an art gallery. Ferguson died in Nassau in October 2012. He was 89. And finally, in world history, 2004 saw the resignation of Haitian President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. At President Aristide's request, the United States facilitated his safe departure from Haiti. The U.S. State Department noting the decision by President Aristide resolved the political impasse that was at the root of the violent unrest in Haiti at that time. The U.S. deployed a contingent of U.S. Marines as the initial contingent of a multinational interim force. And in 2012, the Vatican's secret archives put on a public exhibition of some of its most important documents in celebration of its 400th birthday. The 50 miles of shelves were packed with the Pope's correspondences with everyone from Michelangelo, Voltaire, Mozart, Hitler, and Abraham Lincoln, among others, and were normally seen only by strictly vetted scholars. The exhibit was designed to counter some of the myths perpetuated by works of fiction like Dan Brown's Angels and Demons. You may have noticed some special visitors in the Nassau cruise port recently as the Bahamas Humane Society brought a squad of Nassau's cutest for meet and greet with visitors. The Bahamas Humane Society's head of adoptions, Fiona Moody, tells us about the Cuddle a Puppy initiative and the impact it's having on both the shelter and visitors.
We do a Cuddle a Puppy in Paradise at the cruise port now, and we raised a lovely bit of funds for our shelter, for animal welfare. Tourists love to come here and cuddle our potcakes. We do it about every 2 weeks. On the busy days, we were there for 3 hours with 9 puppies, and people loved it. Some people said it was the highlight of their visit to Nassau. It's very heartwarming.
And Moody tells us that they've raised $1,500 at the last event.
Yes, we raised $1,400. Yeah, actually $1,500 because we had a couple from Portland, Oregon, who were trying to adopt one of our potcakes, Mama, but they worked out the logistics didn't work because they're about to get married and go on honeymoon. But they donated $100, and they said once they get through, the whole wedding thing and honeymoon, they will come back and adopt a Bahamian potcake.
All right. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia?
Ken, such a great effort.
It is. And listen, if you want to help the Humane Society, be sure and visit their Facebook page as well as their website where you could find all the information.
Sure. Thanks so much, Ken. Well, coming up, the Director of Culture weighs in on how movies are rated in the Bahamas. Plus, Urca is on the move in Grand Bahama. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, how are movies rated in the Bahamas? Our Marlena Leonard speaks with the Culture Director who breaks it all down. Also, no real impact.
Chairperson for the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities is weighing in on that decision to allocate thousands of dollars in funds to Lake Obadiah Wilscomb's Memorial. We'll have more of that coming up tonight on Our News.
Plus, the Ministry of Environment's Forestry Unit conducting assessments on the island of Abaco. This as officials are concerned about a potential health hazard. And later, the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority on the ground in Grand Bahama as they seek to address issues on that northern island. We'll tell you all about it when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres, and once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate over 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. The Lucaya Solar Project is a pivotal step towards diversifying the country's energy sources and significantly reducing dependency on fossil fuels. It's more than just a project. It's a commitment to a greener, more sustainable future. Lucaya Solar Power Limited, powered by INTI, powering your world, powering your future.
Welcome to our news. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. We've been hearing a lot about the Bahamas Plays and Films Control Board since the recent D-rating of the latest Demon Slayer movie banned from Bahamian theaters. It's left many wondering how movies are rated in the country. Our Marlena Leonard has the answers in this report.
There are people who are in this industry and who, they're not the Bible thumping people or the rigid person. These are creative people who do this all the time.
The Bahamas Plays and Films Control Board was created out of 1975's Theaters and Cinemas Act. The cabinet-appointed board is responsible for creating the ratings for the plays and films in our theaters. But how do they determine the ratings? Delavo Grant explains.
Each member has to give a rating. So they view the movie, and then they give the rating, and then they collectively decide what the overall rating would be.
The cultural director says that sheet considers things like the amount of profanity and violence in the film. Board members have 5 classifications to choose from for ratings. A, being suitable for all ages. B, being suitable for adults. Persons under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or responsible adult. T, suitable for persons above the age of 15. C is suitable for adults only. Persons under 18 years old are not admitted whether accompanied by an adult or not. And then there's D, unsuitable for public viewing. But since the D rating of the latest Demon Slayer movie effectively banned it from Bahamian theaters, there has been public debate about whether or not the option to ban entirely should exist at all. DeVoe Grant says the board doesn't use the D rating lightly.
They're very exposed people, so for them to ban anything or, deem it unworthy for the public, it means that it really is something shocking.
The cultural director says it's a matter of principle.
Whatever the movie is, because like I said, other movies have been banned before. Whatever the movie is not conducive for our Bahamian society at this particular time. The individual can do what they want to in their personal home, but it will not be sanctioned by the government as something that is acceptable.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, thanks for that, Marlena. Well, the decision by government to reallocate thousands of dollars in funding from the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities is turning heads. Tonight, the chairperson of that commission is weighing in on the decision, saying it's had no impact on their work. Our Joshua Williams reports.
Chairperson of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, Nalini Bethel, says the reallocation of $25,000 in funding is no cause for concern. The revelation coming during the tabling of government's mid-year budget, where it was revealed that the funds were reallocated from the commission to assist in payment for the memorial of the late Obi Wilchicum last October. With the move being criticized by the public and some opposition members, Bethel says the work continues.
It doesn't affect the commission's work, okay? It is based on what we do and how we do it. The thing is that we have an allocation of funding, but it's not given to us all in one go. It's given, that's why you have a mid-year report.
Bethel also dismissing talk the commission does not have the resources it needs. She says even now work is being done in the Family Islands.
We have adequate funds in order to carry out our work.
Bethel also adding that the focus should not be placed on the reallocation of funds, but the good work the commission continues to do.
Raising the public's awareness about accepting persons who are different, who may not walk in the same way, may not talk in the same way, may not think in the same way, and they may suffer from depression or anxiety or whatever. But, it is about the awareness, tolerance, acceptance.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, well, the Ministry of Works Shantytown demolitions team in Abaco now moving to the Gully Shantytown in Abaco, and the forestry unit is conducting assessments in the areas. According to Director Daniel Hennig, the team is assessing the estimation of debris and any other environmental damage that could have developed from the unregulated communities.
These areas were traditionally disturbed, meaning that they were either clear-cut previously, either for agricultural purposes or for development. And so we have to look at the history of the land and also what has occurred since then. So for example, here we have a number of cesspits or wells that are in close proximity to each other, in addition to the debris on the land. So we have to figure out how we navigate that, because many of the cesspits, what we found is our initial assessment, are not installed correctly.
Hennig says they'll be looking at how this will impact water tables in the area. Building Control Officer in the Ministry of Works, Craig Delancey, says so far 65 structures have been demolished and cleared.
The contractor is back and has resumed construction, the demolition, and right now we hope to get rid of the remaining unregulated structures in this area by the end of the day.
All right, we cannot abandon the people of Grand Bahama. Those comments coming from the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, who's on the island of Grand Bahama this week, hosting a series of meetings. We'll get to that story in a moment, but for now, nice temperatures outside the Our News studios this evening as temperatures remain in the 70s. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, 74, thanks. But it still was pretty warm today.
Yeah, it got up to the upper 70s, and we're going to probably get near the 80-degree mark before the week is out. High pressure is in charge, and that's going to continue to provide some very dry conditions for us. 74 degrees outside right now with a few passing clouds. The winds out of the east-southeast at 10 miles per hour, and your field side temperature is at 74. Satellite radar composite showing quiet conditions across our area. Once again, as I said, high pressure is in charge. This high has been stagnant across our area, but it is eventually sliding out towards the east. There's a frontal boundary across northern Florida that should get to the north of the bomb. It's not going to get in here, but another front is expected by the weekend. That one will lend some support for some showers by that time. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority hosting a series of town meetings on the island of Grand Bahama to speak with residents about various issues. The story coming up, plus a labor of love after 4 years a U.S.-based organization is saying bye to the island of Grand Bahama. Hear about the relief efforts on that northern island as some $12.5 million has been spent when Our News continues.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres, and once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate over 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. The Lucaya Solar Project is a pivotal step towards diversifying the country's energy sources and significantly reducing dependency on fossil fuels. It's more than just a project. It's a commitment to a greener, more sustainable future. Lucaya Solar Power Limited, powered by Inti. Powering your world, powering your future.
You've heard of electric cars. Now it's time you drive one. Easy Car Sales welcomes you to experience the power and prestige of the latest electric vehicles. Plug in at home for a 65% discount off your gas bill and never get stuck at the pump again. Build your dreams of a better future with a better car, the BYD EV. Visit easy242.com to book your free test drive today. Save your money while driving in style, only at Easy Car Sales.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
Immerse yourself in the enchanting allure of Acklands. Night after night, accompany us on a week-long expedition as we unveil the undiscovered treasures of this island paradise. See its pristine beaches, embrace the vibrant culture, and live the experience through the lens of our news. Tune in every night at 7 p.m. for a captivating blend of inspiration, adventure, and the irresistible charm of Acklands. Coming this March, only on Our News.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital.
For the first time in almost 5 years, the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority is on the island of Grand Bahama. This week, they are holding a series of town hall meetings on that northern island. Our News attending the first of 3 meetings at Calvary Temple, where it was revealed that IRCA is in a legal dispute with the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Grand Bahama is more of a tricky situation with regard to IRCA because we are currently in a legal dispute with the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
The Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority is the regulator of the electricity and electronic communication sector across the Bahamas. But according to Manager of Corporate and Consumer Relations Matters, Juan McCartney, the primary concern is who regulates electricity and energy within the port area. And that concern has now led to a legal dispute.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority is of the view that the Hawksbill Creek Agreement gives them the regulatory oversight of the electricity sector as well as other utilities within the port area. The IRCA Act, the Electricity Act, the Communications Act speaks to a different reality for IRCA and the government of the Bahamas.
McCartney reveals IRCA is looking to set up a presence in the northern Bahamas, and he also explained he receives a number of issues from Grand Bahama, but it's often difficult to address.
But that doesn't mean that IRCA abandons the people of Grand Bahama or anyone in the port area, and we're here to talk about where we are with those challenges. We're here to talk about the concerns that people may have with services in those sectors, and we're here to understand better the framework of what's going on.
President of the Coalition of Concerned Citizens, Pastor Eddie Victor, was among those in attendance, as he claims the voices of Grand Bahamians are often unheard.
That what we would see is a more open, transparent, regulatory process that takes into account the customers.
President of the Grand Bahama Power Company, David McGregor, shared what he's looking forward to from the meetings, as they are pleased to see IRCA in Grand Bahama.
We're just here to see what our IRCA's up to. I was interested in seeing what the regulator for BPL's got to say about the regulation of electricity, also communications, and consumer affairs, I guess.
All right, well, an organization who's given their labor of love to the people of Grand Bahama, wrapping up their mission after more than 4 years. The St. Bernard Project, a United States-based recovery NGO, came to the aid of Grand Bahamians immediately after Hurricane Dorian. The group has assisted over 650 families return to their homes, provided fresh water systems to 5 healthcare facilities on the island, and helped with rebuilding the Grand Bahama Children's Home. And the work did not stop there. The team also traveled to Abaco to provide relief. The mega effort cost the organization some $12.5 million. Bahamas Executive Director Andy Safeth thanked their partners for the assistance over the years.
The community, the people of the Bahamas have shown us a great kindness. I'm impressed by the resiliency, by the cooperation and willingness to help lend a hand and exacerbate the recovery here. We're wrapping up our operations here. I'll head back to New Orleans, where we're based, where we're headquartered, where we've been working since Hurricane Katrina, and continue to support other communities that are impacted by disasters. So we never know when the next disaster is going to happen, but we want to be positioned and ready to help the next community.
The National Pastors Alliance on Grand Bahama thanked the U.S.-based organization and presented them with a plaque.
Andy, who has been instrumental representing SBP, I don't know where he gets all the energy to do everything he's done over the past couple of years, but from the time that we've watched SBP in action, they've helped countless people across the communities in Grand Bahama. And we're so grateful to what the NGOs have done. They've poured in millions of dollars into our economy to help us to be restored.
Coming up in sports, the school sports calendar shifts to track and field, and junior tennis players continue to dominate in regional competition.
Plus, temperatures warming up in the capital on this Wednesday. Greg is back with your extended weather forecast when Our News continues. Stay with us.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Immerse yourself in the enchanting allure of Acklands. Night after night, accompany us on a week-long expedition as we unveil the undiscovered treasures of this island paradise. See its pristine beaches, embrace the vibrant culture, and live the experience through the lens of Our News. Tune in every night at 7 p.m. for a captivating blend of inspiration, adventure, and the irresistible charm of Acklands. Coming this March, only on Our News.
Embrace technology and the
This is Our News. Welcome back. The GSSSA track and field meet gets started today in the capital. An update from Team Bahamas at the Billie Jean King and Junior Davis Cups, and Jazz Chisholm makes his spring training debut. Here now with our sports presented by 10th year seniors is Ronaldo and John Mark. Ronaldo?
Thanks, Italia, and welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The GSSSA track and field meet officially got underway today at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium with the C.R. Walker Knights and C.H. Rios Raptors looking to defend their titles. In the junior division, the Raptors have already separated themselves from the field after day one with 444.5 points. The H.O. Nash Lions are second with 252 points, and the S.E. McPherson Sharks are third with 244 points. Micaiah Ramming was one of several standouts for the Raptors, with wins in the under-13 girls 100 meters in 13.40 seconds and long jump at 4.39 meters. In seniors, the CV Bethel Stingrays surged ahead of the field to take the lead atop the standings with 223 points. The Knights trail closely behind in second with 202 points, and the R.M. Bailey Pacers are third with 168 points. CV Bethel's Markel Newbold highlighted her team's performance with wins in both the under-20 girls 100 meters in 12.61 seconds and 400 meters in 1 minute 3.37 seconds. Both Bahamian teams have been dominant through the group stage of the Billie Jean King and Junior Davis Cups in the Dominican Republic. Approximately 90 competitors from 17 countries are competing in the pre-qualifying event in Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. The girls team of Brianne Ferguson, Tatiana Madu, and Takai Adderley finished the group stage at 2-1. They defeated Trinidad and Tobago, then Aruba, before a loss to group leader Puerto Rico earlier today. For the boys in the Junior Davis Cup, the team of Gerald Carroll, Jackson Mattagart, and William McCartney completed the group stage undefeated with 3-0 wins over Puerto Rico and Aruba in Group C. On the baseball diamond, Jazz Chisholm makes his spring training debut, and collegiate baseball players continue to have productive weeks in their respective conferences. After sitting out the first few games, Jazz Chisholm made his spring training debut for the Miami Marlins and went 1 for 2 in an exhibition loss to the New York Mets. In JUCO play, Laheem Bell homered for the first time this season and also added a double to lead his Eastern Florida Titans to an 8-3 win over the College of Central Florida. In 13 games, the sophomore catcher is hitting .243 with 11 RBI. In the NAIA, Brandon Russell was named SSAC Pitcher of the Week. The 6'5" righty struck out 12 batters and gave up 4 hits in a 4-1 win over the Faulkner Eagles. He also pitched 2 innings in his team's 6-5 win over number 23 Reinhardt. Just when DeAndre Ayton started trending in the right direction, an injury forced him out of the Portland Trail Blazers lineup. Ayton exited Tuesday night's 106-96 loss to the Miami Heat with a sprained right hand following a collision with Miami's Kevin Love late in the first quarter. Blazer staff said X-rays on Ayton's hand came back negative, but further testing will have to be done to evaluate the extent of the injury. Ayton had 12 points and 10 rebounds before departing, finishing with his 3rd straight double-double and 5th double-double in 6 games. That'll do it for sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, fairly warm conditions in the capital on this Wednesday, but we may see a slight dip in temperature soon. Greg is back with more weather details right after this quick break.
Instead, with Cable Bahamas.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres, and once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate over 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. The Lucaya Solar Project is a pivotal step towards diversifying the country's energy sources and significantly reducing dependency on fossil fuels. It's more than just a project. It's a commitment to a greener, more sustainable future. Lucaya Solar Power Limited, powered by Inti, powering your world, powering your future.
You've heard of electric cars. Now it's time you drive one. Easy Car Sales welcomes you to experience the power and prestige of the latest electric vehicles. Plug in at home for a 65% discount off your gas bill and never get stuck at the pump again. Build your dreams of a better future with a better car, the BYD EV. Visit easy242.com to book your free test drive today. Save your money while driving in style, only at Easy Car Sales.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
Immerse yourself in the enchanting allure of Acklands. Night after night, accompany us on a week-long expedition as we unveil the undiscovered treasures of this island paradise. See its pristine beaches, embrace the vibrant culture, and live the experience through the lens of our news. Tune in every night at 7 p.m. for a captivating blend of inspiration, adventure, and the irresistible charm of Acklands. Coming this March, only on Our News.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Welcome back to our news. Nice weather conditions in the capital on this Wednesday, but wondering what else we can expect for the rest of the week. Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast. Greg?
Warm temperatures, nice weather for the next couple of days, so get out and enjoy it. Boating may be a challenge across the central and southeast Bahamas as we have a caution flag in place for you guys down there, so choppy seas expected. And you beachgoers, asking you to exercise caution if you plan on doing any of those activities for the next couple of days. But we are going to see some temperatures getting up in near the 80-degree mark, and the nighttime temperatures, well, we were saying, 50s and 60s? They're now into the 70s, so that cool spell has ended. Front is expected by the weekend. We'll talk about that in a short while, but that front is right across the southeastern United States. Some isolated showers and thunderstorms associated with this, but behind this system, there's a very cold air mass that is spreading across the southeast United States. There's about a 20-degree difference between what's on the east side of the front and what's on the west side of the front. But that cold air mass will not get here as that high-pressure system continues to dominate our weather over the next couple of days. Dry conditions expected. We don't expect much in terms of any significant rainfall in the forecast, but those temperatures will be very warm. So if you plan on doing anything on the outdoors, make sure you drink some water. We're not to that stage yet in the summer where we get the heat indices. Of course, stay hydrated and stay in the shade. Future forecast showing nothing happening across the area. Frontal boundary well out there in the open Atlantic. Still dropping some showers across the Puerto Rico area. High level moisture will be moving across us over the next couple of days, not producing any rainfall. And of course, Thursday we expect that front to just cross the central Florida. It's going to fall stationary, fall apart. And through Friday, it's going to be lifting back towards the north. And then we expect a second front to get here sometime by Saturday, Sunday time frame. That could lend us a couple isolated showers by that time, but most of the activity will be across the northwest Bahamas. High pressure will dominate the remainder of the islands through that time frame. Boating forecast. Good on the waters for the northwest Bahamas, southeast to southeast, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Tide is going to be high at 10:24 tonight. The low tide will take place at 4:41 in the morning. Caution flag for the central and southeast Bahamas. Slightly stronger winds down there. Easterly winds at 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be running 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. So it's going to be a little choppy down there. And of course, as I mentioned, you beachgoers, we're asking you to exercise some caution down there. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, Thursday going to be nice. Temperatures getting up near the 80-degree mark. Friday, we're going to get a little breezy out there. Frontal boundary will start coming through on Saturday, so we stick some showers in the forecast. Most of the activity will be on Monday where that front gets really across us. But temperatures are not going to change much. We're looking at those 80s. We're moving into spring. We really don't have spring, but we're moving into spring. And those nighttime temperatures will be warm on the humid side. So you may need a ceiling fan or some air conditioning. But by Tuesday, Wednesday, we expect things to clear up and the conditions improving during that time frame. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody. Back to you, Talia.
All right, thanks, Greg. Things are definitely heating up. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight on behalf of the entire team. I'm Talia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.